asleep beneath the flowers. For a couple of hours.
Our next guest is an acclaimed young performer whose debut CD is entitled Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. Please welcome with special guest Jill Scott, Lupe Fiasco.
It's a spy from behind my giant robot's eyes. I keep him happy cause I might fall out if he cries. Scared of heights so I might pass out if he flies. Keep him on autopilot cause
His new CD debuted last month as the #1 album in the country. How about that?
let's try not to step on the children. The news cameras filming this walking project building. Now that's selling like right around the toes and the crackhead's bag at about the lower leg.
If you're familiar with Lupe Fiasco, you're probably familiar with the song Battle Scars. It's his most streamed song on Spotify at over 171 million streams, and it received endless radio play when it was released in 2012. It's impossible to mark an artist's commercial peak as it's happening, but 7 years later, we can say with confidence that this was Lupe's. But looking back, it seems that Lupe himself may have been able to sense his looming downward trajectory.
Moving on, you have Food and Liquor 2 in store September 25th.
Food and Liquor 2, Great American Rap Album Part 1.
With my man Chicago's own Lupe Fiasco, he's back. Food and Liquor 2 is coming soon.
It's the Great American Rap Album Part 1.
Around the time he gave birth to his biggest hit and started the promotional circuit for his upcoming project, Food and Liquor 2, he began to swear off his commercial ties and began to openly criticize the state of his own genre.
You think it's smart to tell the label that you're leaving after your contract is up?
Well, they
with
know
your
that.
last
I'm
two
sure
albums?
they're quite aware that once his contract is up, he's done.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of it's you know it's in the air, you know.
Got you.
It's in the air.
Are you gonna stick to the majors? Because a guy like you seem like you could do great independently.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely not going back into the majors.
It's one of the reasons that I can't see myself doing this on this level for that much longer. To kind of go into a more artistic space that doesn't have too much contact or doesn't open up for too much contact to be chopped up and to be misconstrued or to be internalized and ran with. Because I don't really look at myself as being like the role model.
Beats are good, everything is like good, it's fresh, but to me the substance is just terrible. You know, so it's like 97% of hip hop is like just terrible. I barely listen to hip hop, to be honest.
You need it every time. You need something that has some soul and some depth to it. You know what I'm saying? That's strictly about substance and not more about the style.
You thought you were pursuing some type of artistic art. Was really you catering to some commercial entity, the 3-minute song. You know, that's commercial. You know, that's a commercial thing. For the radio stations, they need 3-minute songs so they can get as many songs in between commercial breaks. The record companies only paid you for 3-minute songs. You know, that has nothing to do with art. You know, that's all a commercial.
It's business.
Yeah, it's all business related, you know.
So if they don't work as hard promoting these last 2 albums, you're like, okay, I get it.
Well, you know, I'm not a 360 artist, so I was told that since I'm not a 360 artist, I may not get promoted anyway.
Isn't that some bullshit?
Yeah, it sucks. It's just not fair. This business has never been fair, you know, and to kind of, for me to even be naive enough to come in and say, hey, I'm gonna instill some fairness because I'm such and such artist, so I bring such and such social commentary to this, you know, it doesn't really matter, you know, at the end of the day, because it's based to be unfair. It's based for you to just get yours, and then we get all of yours, kind of a situation.
To further complicate his already vexed feelings, an ugly Twitter feud with fellow Chicago rapper Chief Keef spurred Lupe to spontaneously announce his retirement.
But my heart is broken, and I see no comfort further along this path, only more pain. I cannot participate any longer in this. My first true love was literature, so I will return to that. Lupe Fiasco ends here.
But that quote-unquote retirement didn't last too long, and Lupe returned to the Grammys red carpet in 2013 to announce the cancellation of the second part of the Great American Rap album, and simultaneously announce his next project.
And starting new with a new album. It's actually called Tetsuo and Youth. It's the new name of the new record.
Okay, nice,
2013.
Okay.
Jump forward 2 long years later to 2015, and Tetsuo and Youth was finished. And upon the album's release, Lupe's disillusionment seemed to have turned into pure joy and a sense of liberation.
You know, but now to kind of have it physically in my hands and, you know, everything that this represents and, you know, this is 15 years of MCing, you know, and then like another, you know, 5-10 years of, you know, slavery at a record company, you know, and then to kind of for this to be your freedom, to be this, you know, I painted the album cover. You know, me and my homies in the studio all night putting the songs together. My best friends is recording with me at the boards. You know, it's just like, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
For me, you come to that point, you know, in the industrial hip hop. You know, I've done everything. I've achieved my accolades, and you know, the industrial Lupe Fiasco is kind of done.
Lupe's elation does seem to drive the album, both sonically and lyrically. But if you pay closer attention, there's another special ingredient: Buddhism.
Not ashamed of the charm. I see the sun, then the clouds, and the vultures. Pay respects in my sensei sculpture. Meditated till there's no mind. Decorate me with shine till I go blind. Thoughts moving circles in the false universal. Vision second, so the yogi with the gold shoes. Slipping through the cracks like when you try to grill groove. Sanskrit dance on the page of the dead book. Don't leave the restroom with the left foot. Flags of Tibet, 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 to death, flesh we use. Simple as a Buddhist monk in the temple, standing in some hill grooves with the abbot, practicing stillness. Real still till he realizes realness. Defeats samsara, achieves nirvana and brilliance, yeah.
But Buddhism isn't just present in various lyrical references. It's present in the album's thematics as well. Lupe explores topics such as mental imprisonment in songs like Prisoner 1 and 2, by likening the physical imprisonment of an incarcerated man with the mental imprisonment of the listener, one that has been fostered by commercialism.
Ain't no more soul on the shelves. You prisoner too. You living here too. You just like us.
This theme is present on several tracks.
Are we apps or are we bodies filled with apparitions? Operating applications stuck inside an Apple prison. Chicken hacking download updates that lack religion. All when it's rain and rain like dear slaves to Santa Claus. Slave man, but rain like gangster, no drug dealer, no gang member.
The cyclical nature of suffering arises on tracks like Madonna. The music video for the song tells the story of a young boy who was forced to work long, brutal hours after school in order to support himself and his mother's heroin habit. The song Deliver explores this same theme by pointing out the fact that people in the neighborhoods of Chicago can't even get pizza delivered to their homes because of rampant crime, a fact which further damages their self-esteem.
Too many niggas on the block. Too many niggas getting shot. So the piece of man don't stop. Piece of man don't come in no more.
Dots and Lines touches upon the connection between all things.
All the themes can see the bell but don't know the rings. The rings are not sounds, but circles. You wear these on your virtuals. See through these circles just like Steve Urkel. Till it's all universal.
Even the structure of some songs leads toward Buddhist ideas. The song Mural, for example, culminates in the concept of samsara.
Simple as a Buddhist monk in the temple, standing in some hill grooves with the abbot, practicing stillness. Real still till he realizes realness. Defeats samsara, achieves nirvana and brilliance, yeah.
They Resurrect Over New presents the idea of proceeding to the next level, quote unquote.
On a re-sling, slow wine. Meditated till there's no mind. Decorate me with shine till I go blind. BDSM dominated it with no bind. Safe words don't stop, both old don't go, no time. Proceed to the next level.
Which Lupe fans have interpreted to refer both to the Tron video game and, more importantly, Nirvana. Lupe's Buddhism obsession didn't end there. Since Tetsuo in Youth, he's released 2 more albums, Drogas Light and Drogas Wave. In the song Manila off of Drogas Wave, he raps the following.
Chakra wave, singing bold, stirring, I'm Dalai Lama. Creation, step in my mental selection, Bobby Condas. Nightmare, women, dream girls, embodied monsters. Don't confuse my temptation battles for bottom mantras. Soul pilot to my reputation is body.
This obsession seems to stem, at least in part, from Lupe's deep background in martial arts and samurai swords.
I love kung fu movies since I was a child, watched them since I was a child. They were constantly being played in the house. My father always had a collection of films, and a large part of that collection was always the martial arts films.
Lupe has since paid homage to his father by becoming the host of his own TV show on the Kicks channel in China, in which he travels around China learning about martial arts.
One of my passions outside of music has always been the martial arts. Trained in the martial arts with my father since I was about 3 years old, and it's always been a passion of mine. It pops up sometimes in my music, little hints of it here and there. You know, my father passed in 2007, and big influence on my life. And it just became like really serious at certain points. You know, walking in my father's footsteps, kind of doing the things that he always wanted I would hear him say or direct us to do. Like, if you get the chance, you know, go to China, learn, or go to Japan and learn, or go to wherever and learn. I didn't master all the techniques, but kind of like some of the more basic forms, and having some really surprising deep insights beyond just the physical form, like mental, philosophical, spiritual kind of things.
Long story short, this stuff is in Lupe's blood, and it's what makes him the rap samurai that he is today. In the Met's timeline of art history, they partly define samurai with the following information. Quote, to achieve and maintain their wealth and position, the samurai also needed political, financial...
Progression is success. You look at, you know, self-esteem as success.
Of course.
Positivity is success. And then it becomes commodified into something else. You know, where success is based on record sales and after parties and how many t-shirts you done sold. It all comes down to the numbers.
And cultural acumen.
I actually have a book club, and we actually read this in my book club. Fire Next Time, I'm a big fan of James Baldwin, call myself a Baldwinian.
Some were devoted patrons of Buddhism. Several were known as accomplished poets.
Yeah, I say, holy assumption of man into the heaven sphere. Many mansions for champions within his 7 tiers. Evangelists reimagine every 11 years. Pause for applause, evolve to what was never here. Born to death, born to die. Form the flesh, form the eyes. A veritable storm of winged form swarms the skies. Marital norms unperformed, but the pawn survives. In the dorms of the scorn, they keep warm supplies. Going to lose the use of tooth, horn, and thigh. If I was standing, I was landing. 2 one-hand, one-man bands jamming in tandem. He who power naps then plans gathering ransoms. And maps man's laps in a hand lathered in absinthe. Got a talent, traffic, and ramblings. And handing out amazing handmade maps of the labyrinth. Out the back of the wagon, out the back of the madam, out the back of the magnum, then out the trap of enchantment. Bellerophon with the megaphone, Mega Man Desert Zone, run marathons with sweaters on. That was so simple but hot. In a place where it's so simple but not. Closed temples and old little forgot to roll, hold chisels, cripples who won't miss a salat.